When we think about content delivery for the blended environment, it's often like looking at a forest and not seeing the trees. We need to simplify. We need to look at our world with all of its speed and its connections. We need to look at our work and its definitions and how we work in silos. And then let's look at our lives. It is connected and it's full of activity. So what does this mean for VET, content and learning development? It means that we need to innovate. It's to ensure that the education system is supported to provide learning for our lives. Throughout my fellowship, I identified that there were 4 key aspects when considering how to develop a compliant blended learning model. The first one there, the culture of technology usage in education, the learning management systems and tools that we select, the pedagogy for technology usage in education, and the environment of the technology usage in education. And those are just 4 points that I'd like to have a quick chat about today. So the culture of technology usage in education analyses the current usage of technology and how it is defined in our world, in our work, and in the broader culture and fabric of society. In order for our education to be meaningful, we must first look at the patterns that are already present in society and what we're using in the technology. So the new world, since 1999, is connected. And this trend is going to continue. Education must be part of this connectivity in order to stay not just important, but relevant to our students that are moving through. The evolution of the internet from Web 1.0 to Web 2.0, and now we've moved into Web 3.0. And it shows us how we interact differently with one another and how we produce and circulate information on a global scale. In the education field, we've seen the emergence of MOOCs, which are free online learning programs that are being rolled out by internationally standard universities such as Harvard. And these free educational courses are going to define future work and job roles that our students will have. These business models that are coming into play are things like Uber, unicorns, and crowdfunding. New business models such as these cannot survive without technology. The environment of the technology that we use in education. From looking at the culture of the technology in the previous slide, it seems essential to consider the environment in which our technology is operating. Technology was used to be only used in experimental fields and only in education. But now it is literally everywhere. And this theme is going to continue. As educators, we must understand that the environment where technology exists and how to integrate it to form meaningful learning goals and capture worthwhile learning potentials. The technology trending frontier, over on the far left there, left for me, right for you, yes, is a particular favourite of mine and includes things like drones, 3D printing, virtual reality, and medical microchip insertions. These things seem to be stuff that we might never use, but it is on our doorstep. Just recently, in TAFE College in Geelong, they purchased a drone for their plumbing students. Why would a plumbing student need a drone? Because to fly a drone to the top of a building where the footage from a camera can look down on the pipe rimming, that's my plumbing term, the piping on the top of a building is far safer than having a student push a ladder against a building, move up the ladder, and possibly slip, trip, fall, and avoid injury. The issue with the drone was not technology. It was not the possible privacy issue of seeing something else up there that we're not allowed to with legislation and that sort of thing. It was actually the skills of the students being able to fly the drone. My husband, he was born in the 70s. He used to play them Game Boy things all the time. He's very good at it. But he's a secondary school teacher, not a plumber. It's the coordination of these types of skills in order to capture technology and use it in real life everyday learning. And that had nothing to do with the internet. It had nothing to do with Moodle. It had nothing to do with online learning. So we need to peel back our definition of what technology in education really means. The other sorts of advancements in this field, certainly a lot around healthcare, certainly a lot around safety in our community services and aged care facilities. And this list is literally endless. And that's the frontier of educational technology, which is broad and it is so exciting to engage with. The learning management systems and tools. As educators, we need to look at how we deliver our message. Blended learning is happening right now. And again, it's about this definition. It doesn't need to mean all your learning is online. It doesn't even have to mean that you have a fancy LMS system with fancy tools and heaps of software which no one knows how to use. Any trainer who is currently emailing a workbook to a student who cannot attend, that is a type of blended learning. Any trainer who is accepting a digital file for a response to an assessment, that is blended learning. There's also the other end of the blended learning scale, which includes webinar lessons, delivering course material online, recording lessons and seminars and that sort of thing for review later. That's also a model of blended learning. But don't get caught up in the definition. Using technology in education is a must, and however you achieve that, these are still blended learning scenarios. Just want to touch on the term heutagogy. Heutagogy might be a new term for some of you. Heutagogy is a study of self-determined learning. Heutagogy is about shared knowledge rather than knowledge hoarding. Heutagogy is best demonstrated by the biggest learning management system on the planet. It is the learning management system that is used daily by billions of people engaging, uploading, reading, watching, communicating, giving thoughts, giving feelings, and doing something called, if you've ever done DIY, it was created by YouTube. And then there are other platforms very similar to YouTube. If you extrapolate them out, you have things like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and the list goes on. Now, I want you to be really clear that my point today is not to use YouTube. It is not to use social media platforms. What it is to say is that these platforms are a socially accepted norm that people are using. So your learning system should mimic those sorts of technology that's used. If people know how to use a mobile phone, design some activities, including in your LMS, about button pushing or emojis, those sort of things. If people like Facebook or know how to use Facebook, include news streams that change every day. Don't have a static page if that's what people are interacting with. In conclusion, blended learning unites and engages the student experience. It captures and supports difference. It mitigates risk and it identifies student development requirements and teaches trainers to accept change and embrace it to be meeting the needs of a constantly changing learner, which comes with each generation. When I think about how much has changed in the area of educational technology, I get super excited because the future of students, education, teaching, learning on a global scale is so bright. We are currently working in silos. We are currently working in an environment that doesn't perhaps support the extent to where technology will go. But how are we living? What technology are you using every day? Our Facebookers. We got Facebookers, we got LinkedIns, we got Twitters, we got email users, and we got who's got a mobile phone in their pocket? Anyone still using a fax? Yeah. If you are, that's fine. But there are things that have changed since you were a student and now you're a teacher, and now students demand that technology will drive them into the future. Thank you.